It's gone from 8 down to only 5 here at the very end on the final lap as Will Lyon and Ryan Carwile are going to swap the lead. It's going to be Sanchez on the outside. Can Tyler maybe sneak it past both of them? Will the lap traffic play a part? Big lift from Lyon. That's going to send him backwards. Sanchez tries to find some clean air. They've lost ground to Carwile. Is it going to be close enough that they can catch him down to the finish? What about that lap traffic in front? That's Arribas trying to stay out of the way. He's actually helping Carwile. Carwile's got the draft, and he is going to take the win here at Indianapolis.
Looks like he might try to go around the outside here. Oh, it's going to be tight.
Lepisto wants another win, and oh no! They come together. They're absolutely coming together, and one is in the barrier. The other just manages to stay off. Lepisto doesn't hit anything other than fair and growl, but there goes a potential win.
Yeah, massive chaos there for those drivers. Here is the replay of that. Yeah, the little tip there from Van Rassel. Ooh, talk about some narrow margins from Stephen Orrell.
I was going to say, there's still a chance that we could see a change of position here. Togo's a little too hot, but Ove Trangrade gets very close. Surely he's going to try and send a go. No, he's covered off as Miko defends the inside down into the Casio triangle. Now he has to be smooth on the throttle to seal the deal, and he is as he comes to the line. Our 7th different winner of the season to tie the record. Miko Makala gets his first ever win here in Japan. Yeah, he's going to have to really dive in to try and take it here. Decides not to. Maybe into the Melbourne hairpin. Ooh, it's a fantastic run. And defending the 183, tries to cover him off. Now he's back to the racing line, sends it in deep. And can he get it done? We won't get to know because we have to go to Tom Layton, who is going to take the win. And with this, the championship for the 2022 Porsche Owners Club Sim Racing Series. Look at that, celebrating because he knows he has gotten it. It's going to be a race to the line. Look at this, a drag race down to it at the end. Will it be Mayorga or Bolton? It's going to be Bolton.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to ride around the world.
I'm Mick Claridge, and I'm going to ride around the world on my bike.
My son, he gave me advice at the start of this ride, and he looked at me and just said, "Dad, don't be a moron."
Let me do my animal signal to gain their respect.
How's it going, Sally?
Yeah, I'm alright, Mick. How's it going?
Worse than that bit in Lord of the Rings where they got into the top and the spiders in the tunnel. I'm just hoping there's a spider at the top of this one to kill me. Freezing.
And I failed. I moroned up the ride.
This being the holiday season, we here at the Global SimRacing Channel wish you and yours a little extra nutmeg in your eggnog, a little extra tinsel on your tree, and a few extra hoes tagged onto your ho-ho-ho. So with that in mind, what better time than now to bring you an event free from those tired hyperboles about pressure and championship hopes, and instead chocked full of fun. That's right. Once again, it's time for the Absolute Beginners League Race of Champions, and you can see all the VW Beetle merriment live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. From Germany, in the iRacing universe, where the default setting is always peace on earth, we say Guten Tag. DJ Clark alongside yours truly, Bill Soupçon, high up in the press box to bring you our Words Eye View. Behind the scene is our director, Ryan Bauer. And he's using cameras provided, aim zoomed and focused by Dougie Beard. And actually, Zach Johnson here today. Sorry about that, Zach. I say Nurburgring, and you think 14 miles of green hell, but that's not the case today. Today, we race on a tiny little configuration known as Mullenbachscheifele. Hopefully, it's more fun to race on than it is to say. We don't have a complete view of this one, but we can show you the GP track. It's kind of like that blue tuxedo that I rented for the wedding I never returned. Want to get as much use out of it as we can. So let's roll tape.
Welcome to the Nurburgring. Often overshadowed by its older, bigger brother, the Nordschleife, the Grand Prix course has actually accrued quite a bit of history itself. This modern circuit was built in the early 80s as a replacement for the lesser-known Southern Loop. And while it was updated and extended in 2002, it stayed roughly 3 miles in length throughout its history. However, the addition of the Mercedes Arena brought about a total of 6 different layouts to choose from, with the longest including 16 turns. Though not as fearsome as the ring, it's technically challenging and carries its own fair share of elevation change. Plus, the types of corners come in a wide variety, ranging from the heavy braking into the sharp hairpin of the first turn, to the swift Schumacher S, which is still not quite flat out in a lot of modern cars. Passing can sometimes come at a premium, and drivers are often forced to get creative if they find themselves stuck behind a competitor. But the difficulty that elicits mistakes means that patience can pay off for those who stay diligent. While Formula One raced here on and off for a few decades, it now mainly hosts GT and touring car racing, along with some lower-tier open-wheel series. In the end, race fans certainly shouldn't overlook the importance of this German circuit. While it may not carry the fame of its counterpart, it holds up well and helps keep this worldwide phenomenon relevant to modern racing.
Well, what we showed you was very pretty, but honestly, it doesn't have a whole lot to do with what the racing is going to be like here today. As DJ, the rule package for this one, there really almost is no rule package.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be sort of every driver for themselves out on this circuit. Track limits, merely a suggestion here around this tiny little layout of the Nürburgring. We've seen plenty of drivers taking to the grass, taking to the gravel pits. Part of the reason why we're racing in these Volkswagen Beetles rallycross cars. So going through the track guide here, well, it's only just under a mile long, this little circuit, the run down into the hairpin, the long straightaway. And frankly, the passing opportunities are going to be where you can throw the handbrake around and try to get these cars to hang out a little bit. I will say the one particularly tricky area is at the top of the circuit when you come off through the Michael Schumacher S and bring the cars back around into the tiny, tiny, tiny little access road that actually leads back onto the circuit. That's going to be particularly tricky for these drivers. Other than that, pretty wide open, pretty fun, and this is going to be a good one, Soup. I'm looking forward to it.
It is indeed, and to get the festive nature of this, our graphic is going to be a little limited on this one, as it's basically a practice session. They will be herding cats, is the phrase we like to use here at GSRC. There'll be little short 2-lap heat events and that go on and carry over, and they bring their DJ will talk a little bit more about that as they go on. But we'll actually have a live pace car driver. And actually, he's in the safety car, but they like to call it the unsafety car. As DJ, one of the notorious things about this race is the way the pace car driver, the way he behaves.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to throw everything for a little bit of a loop here. And as you say, Soup, we're looking at a series of heat races, 8 heat races to be exact, that will allow the drivers to, everybody go out and have their day in the sun to go have a good fun. Then we'll have a quarterfinal and a semifinal and a grand finale. And then that will all allow for points to be tallied at the end of the championship. And so that will be what we do. And hopefully by the end of it all, we should have some live calculations for you that we should be able to give you to determine who is the victor in this race of champions here.
It's an invitation-only event. 16 drivers here. They have all showed up. Past champions are invited. Longtime drivers in the Absolute Beginner League all come in, and drivers who did well this season in both the series that they have here in ABL. Should be a fun one. Keep a smile on your face.
Yeah, it certainly will be, as drivers right now just kind of finishing up the last little bits of practice here, just getting a feel for the track and the non-track, as it were. The different areas is there you can see taking off to the gravel. We take a look on your screens right now as they work their way. This is the run going down here into that hairpin that we talked about. Watch for drivers to try to kick out the tail a little bit through there, maybe do a little bit of a cut through the grass. Obviously, the rear end of these cars really does want to break away. That's one of the things of these rallycross cars as we keep our eyes focused. I believe that is Michael Potacek just kind of working his way through, checking everything out. I believe that actually may be the unsafety car, just having some fun out on the circuit. So that will be that, and Soup will get ready to rack up and stack up and go racing here in just a few minutes' time, I believe.
And Michael Potacek actually spending a lot more time on the pavement than we'll see these drivers do. You'll see the creative racing lines that they'll be taking once we go live. This is always a fun event. Glad you're with us. GSRC has been with the Absolute Beginner League for many seasons, and this is one of the fun events that we always look forward to doing. Glad that you're with it. Glad that I'm here with DJ and Zach. Should be a good one.
Yeah, it should be a very good one indeed. Is that camera angle that we get from Dougie Beard pretty much is the entire circuit. You can kind of see it all right there, so it's pretty much a perfect camera angle. As continuing to work his way around here is Michael Potacek coming through that little pass-through area that I talked about, particularly difficult to get right, and then coming down here through what is the end of the Valvoline corner that then leads you back down into the Dunlop hairpin. As we said, it's going to be interesting, I think, particularly to see what lines drivers decide to take down into the hairpin. As you're obviously going to get the most grip and the most traction there coming onto the pavement, but then again, flicking the car through the grass may help you a little bit. Let's stay on board here with Michael, as you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. Very, very tight confines coming here up the hill to be able to get everything right. And then we've seen the majority of the field actually cut through that gravel trap right there and try to keep things around that way. So that's probably going to be the preferred line for these drivers to take and to try to get themselves around. But Soup, as you said, Michael actually doing a job here of keeping all four tires on the black stuff, which is not something we assume is going to be the tradition or the classical way to get around here.
I've called a few races this exact event. They really have found a home at this particular configuration at the Nurburgring. You called it an access road. That is, that's putting it kindly. It's more like, it feels like the walkway from my garage to my house. It's this little section, and that's where a lot of the action is going to be. A lot of the pileups are going to be in that confined area.
Yes, they will. As here we look like we've got the first drivers starting to line themselves up for the heat, and this is going to be Frederick Neptune, Michael Potacek, Roger Hooker, Aaron Num, Josh Brain, and Nicholas Anderson. Those will be the 6 drivers that are ready to go here for race number 1. And there you can see leading the field around, everybody getting ready to line themselves up here for this race. Obviously the pit stall here a little bit kind of strange as it runs up the hill, but right now it does look like we are getting ready to go, and everybody getting themselves into position. As we said, commands being issued. A little bit of a love tap there. These drivers, as we said, this is not for any championship points. This is really just for fun out there. So everybody having a good time with everything and not having too much stress about the day as they bring their way on through, and looks like they're going to be lining up here to get ready to go, Soup. And this will be the first race that we call, as we said, 2 laps for these drivers. It's going to be pretty fun to see how they are able to get themselves ready. As right now, I think they're all just lining up. We'll go racing here. We are told at the quarter past the hour, so right at 1:15. And that will be the sign to get going and to get on the loud pedal here. We're not going to have live timing for you, obviously, as this is a little bit of a different race. As there we take off and start to form ourselves up, and the unsafety car will lead us around for 1 lap of pacing, and then we will be under green flag conditions.
I talked about this being an invitational. Longtime fans of the Absolute Beginner League will remember the name Errol Num, a multi-time champion. The Rolling Estonian is the nickname. Good to see him back with us.
Yeah, very good to see him back with us. There we see the field bringing their way down into the hairpin. Arrow, unfortunately, predates me in the Absolute Beginners League, so it's kind of cool to be able to see him in. Normally wasn't able to see him before.
He'll be our champion by the time this is all said and done. I don't want to ruin the drama here, but the man is truly amazing. This will be fun, DJ. Here we go.
This will be fun indeed as everybody slowly but surely working their way now through the Michael Schumacher S. Again, sticking to the black stuff here on this lap. Not sure if that's going to be carried on when we turn laps in anger here at this point. Now coming up through the alley, as I think we'll start to call it, bringing their way around right now. And we get started here for heat race number 1 on the day as the field waits to form itself up. They're not exactly the most glorious starting formation, but there they've got it a little bit better. Side by side, waiting for that unsafety car to peel off and give us the go sign here, as I believe the official start-finish line is right there. And so that means we are racing at the Nurburgring, and here we go down into the hairpin for the first time. That's going to be leading the way. Frederick Neptune, contact there in the front. They're going to be banging doors a little bit as the number 7, that's Podacek, trying to be able to work his way to the outside, coming down through the Michael Schumacher S. And Soup, they're already cutting the corners, and it looks like getting caught out in the dark there is the Oberto machine, as now they try to work their way through the alley, and more bumping and banging, big track blockage.
And there's a beetle on his lid. It goes around. We got 5 cars out there. There will be yellow flags this time. I don't believe that's enough to bring it out. We're going to race for the white flag now.
Yes, we are flicking their way down through the hill right now as they try to get themselves around. It looks like, much to your predictions being true, Arrow Numb is going to lead the way. Nicholas Anderson there directly behind him as those 2 cars now look to be in control of the field. Behind them, everybody else pretty much spread out as a result of that big coming together that you saw going into the alley, as now Numb gets on the binders to bring that car through, cocking the car up onto 2 wheels. As there he goes again, cutting through the grass, Arrow Numb. But here comes Nicholas Anderson trying to take a little bit of a narrower line, flirting with disaster there with the tire barriers. He's able to send a great move on Arrow Numb. Numb going to try to fight back here as they run down the hill towards the start-finish line, but it's not going to be enough. Nicholas Anderson able to take victory in heat number 1.
Oh, how about Anderson? Outsmarted the old veteran, taking that line through the grass, got there first. Wasn't sure he was going to have the momentum to make that stick in the drag race to the flag, but he did. Now they'll award points all the way down 1 through 6. They'll bring out 6 new drivers. And remember, the goal is to be in the top 6. Once everybody races 3 times, the top 6 will advance to the final. Then there'll be some semis to get a few more drivers in there for the 8-car main event.
Yes, there will be. So now we believe that everybody else is going to be lining back up here again. The drivers for heat race number 2. This is going to be Michael Haflidason, Edgar Sancinelli, Johan Vandenbelt, Christopher Giros, Klaus Loden, and Ludwig Sauer. So that is going to be who will lead the field around here at this point. There you can see the points table. Anderson, Gnome, Brain, Podacek, and Hooker, your drivers that were able to score points here. And that will be the field bringing themselves around. And that's just how quick these races are going to fly at you. Very, very fast. Very, very furious.
And to pull back the curtain here at the Global SimRacing Channel, tip of the hat to our director, Zach Johnson, was able to whip together the ability to bring that graphic right onto the screen for you here. Nicely done. Very impressive. Now we go to round number 2, heat number 2. Who we got?
Heat number 2, Haflidason, Sancinelli, Vanderbilt, Giros, Loden, and Sauer, your 6 drivers here for this, as looks like everybody's just trying to get themselves sorted out right now, as everybody bringing their way down here through the corners, through into the staging area, let's call it here at this point, because that's really what it is for them. Gotta say, I love Michael Haflidason's paint here. You know, where I'm so used to seeing a little bit of a Cars reference and having Lightning McQueen, but it's not often that we see a Tater mobile, and that's exactly what he's got right there.
Haflidason with real-world racing experience. Good to see him in here. I'm not sure he raced much in the recent season. Great to see that. Also, tip of the hat to the fan belt, Johan Vandervelde, a longtime ABLer with us. Christopher Garros, a veteran as well. So Edgar Sancinelli maybe doesn't race up front a lot. He has picked up a reputation as probably being one of the most exciting unsafety car drivers that have been around. And then, of course, Ludwig Sauer, another veteran, Garros and Loudon as well.
Yeah, lots of veterans here. As you said earlier, Soup, this is an invite-only race for these drivers. So really the best of the best here in the Absolute Beginners League getting invited to be able to take part in this as we get around here pacing for heat race number 2 on the day. A little bit of maybe tire warming there as there they go lining up, and it's going to fly at you just that quick. Racing underway once again. It is going to be Hafledason out to a good lead here. Then it's going to be the fan belt, Johan Vandervelde, as they work their way, cutting the corner through the Michael Schumacher S, trying to see what they're able to do. Contact there in the background. That's going to be a big coming together for a couple of drivers. They find themselves way, way off, and more contact farther back as that is the fan belt, Johan Vandervelde, getting things wrong coming up through the alley.
He was racing his second, looped it around, lost a ton of spots. Fortunately, there was some attrition behind him that's going to cost him not as many spots as there would have been. Hafledason now cruising.
Yeah, Hafledason up in the lead of this race, nice and easy, is down into the corner here. We see the rest of the field. That's Ludwig Sauer in second place, and that is going to be Johan Vandervelde letting the tail hang out there a little bit more as they climb the hill for the final time here in heat race number 2. Let's see if they are able to get through nice and easy. Hafledason making this look pretty simple. Gets a little bit sideways there coming out of the alley. Is he going to be able to get that car underneath him and gain everything back up? Lets the tire smoke fly, and there he goes. A good line for him. He lost a lot of momentum, but it doesn't matter because he's got enough of a build over the rest of the field. He's going to drift it into the corner, and Hafledason will take victory here in heat number 2. Then it looks like, is that Johan Vandervelde able to do it, able to get second place. Third place will go there to Sauer. And then we had a very, very close running. I believe that was Sancinelli in the background there, and the number 18 as well. That was Johan Vandervelde a little bit farther down. Excuse me for calling that one a little bit wrong, but these just fly at you fast. And just like that, we are a quarter of the way done with these heat races.
Somebody needs to tell Michael Hafledason there's no bonus points for style. Man, that was an impressive finish there. He knew had a comfortable lead, putting on a bit of a show for us.
Putting on a little bit of a show, having a little bit of a good time there for him. As now we get ready for heat race number 3 as the drivers will line themselves up here for this. And this one, it's going to be JT Koppanen, followed by Wojciech Podacek. Then it'll be Gordon Vandenbergen, Daniel Solo, Michael Podacek, and Frederick Neptune, your 6-car fields here for heat race number 3. So everybody's starting to line themselves up here at this point, getting themselves into order right now. And there you see, I believe that is Sancinelli out in front, being the unpaced car here to line up the field and get everybody ready to go as they start to form their way up behind him. Bringing on there through, that's Wojciech Podacek there in the Doritos machine, Solo in the IKEA liveried machine, the red and black there, that's Gordon Vandenbergen. The car that you're just seeing coming into screen right there, that is going to be JT Koppanen, who will be in the front of this field. And so they're all going to bring their way up and through right now as we get ourselves ready to go. Koppanen, the unsafety car, as it were, able to bring this field around as everybody else starting to line up behind right now. Getting themselves in order again. Everybody will be able to race 3 times here today as they take off. Sancinelli going to lead the field around here in the unsafety car as they come down the hill, getting ready to go here for heat race number 3. Don't blink and they're done. You've seen how fast and furious these fly on by you. They are very, very quick heat races. And so Sancinelli here bringing the field around. We will have a lap under And there we go, already racing again. Sancinelli able to bring it down and through, and that's going to be JT Koponen up into the lead of the race. No contact down through the rest of the field here at this point. Looks like Potacek trying to be able to get a little bit of a run. Vandenbergen holding on to third as they climb up the hill, working their way into the alley. Is Koponen going to be able to get this right? Throwing on the handbrake, trying to send a move there as Potacek. Contact there between the two. They've got a little bit of argy-bargy, and they're going to keep that battle going up at the front of the field. Potacek trying to get down to the inside of him as they both throw on the handbrake. There's going to be massive contact, Soup.
Indeed, that is Jacek Potacek. We have a little Cain versus Abel thing going on here with a pair of brothers, but right now they are separated. Potacek doing a good job.
Doing a very, very good job. Oh, as he gets it a little bit wrong, coming down into the Dunlop hairpin. That's going to allow for Solo to be able to try to catch up onto the back of him. Mikey Potacek lurking there in the background as well, trying to close in a little bit as they go. Potacek now letting the tail end of that car fly out. He's got a lot of speed, tries to get on the handbrake a little bit early to try to get that over-under on JT Koponen. It looked like that didn't work out, though, as now Koponen's going to bring the car down through Valvoline. Big contact, argy-bargy, elbows out. Potacek not to be denied. He wants this position. It's going to be a drag race down to the line. I think Koponen's going to have it. He does indeed. And a little bit of, hey, how you doing there between the two?
Oh, that was a fun one. I was talking with Wojciech earlier this week. Of course, he hails from Poland. And he said he spent a lot of times in the States, and his nickname, well, as we get some more action going on, great coverage from our director. His nickname is Wojo. He gave us permission to call him Wojo. So that's, wish I would have known that about, as we're in season 30. Wish I would have known that in season 10. Would have saved me a lot of grief, DJ.
Yeah, it would have saved me a lot of grief as well, but Wojo putting on a good show there for us. And now we are ready for heat race number 4 on the day. As there we have a look at the live points. You can see Hafledason, Koponen, and Nicholas Anderson leading the way. Again, all drivers will be able to run 3 times over the course of the day. So that means that we get ready to get rolling here in heat race number 4. Aaron Num going to be in pole position, followed by Roger Hooker, then Nicholas Anderson, Josh Brain, Edgar Sancinelli, and Michael Hafledason. That will make up your field here for heat race number 4. The halfway point, I don't know where I got it into my head that we had 6 heat races, Soup, but we have 8 heat races on the day.
I believe we've had 3 down. I believe we have all 3 winners in here. Wasn't Nicholas Anderson a winner? I could be wrong because I don't have the stats in front of me, but certainly Errol Num got a win, and we know Hafledason got a win.
Yeah, I think we did. The only one we're missing out of this is JT Koponen. He's the only one that's missing out of this.
Yeah, Anderson doesn't have a win. You're right, it was Koponen. So we have 2 winners here with Num and Hafledason going at it.
Yes, we do. As there you have Johan Vandenbeld assuming the role of the unsafety car as they bring their way on through right now. Bringing this field around. Aero Num going to be the one lining up in pole position here. But we have seen pole position fare well. If it wasn't for a little bit of contact down through the field, that's what can throw these drivers off. Hooker to his outside as Num gets on the loud pedal. And we get racing here in heat race number 4 as they go down the hill, throwing down into the corner. Not seeing a whole lot of handbrake usage there from these drivers, but you can see the right rear tire of Aero Num's car cocking up into the air a little bit as there we see them cutting through the grass as they are prone to do. Now here comes the real question. Who's going to be able to throw on the brakes and get this car around in time? Interesting there from Aero Num. Didn't actually throw on the handbrake. We've seen plenty of drivers do that. Great move there around the outside. That is going to be, I believe, one of the IKEA liveried cars just able to send a great move. But now we've got a challenge for the lead as that's Hafledason trying to be able to throw a little bit of a move here.
Indeed, he took that inside line, a pair of heat winners battling at it. Hafledason had that great line through the grass, lost momentum coming back onto the pavement, but side by side with Num was able to make it work.
Able to make it work, and now he's going to try to challenge as they go up through the alley here, getting onto the binders. Little bit of contact, a little bit of more contact, pushing Aero Num out of the way is Michael Hafledason. Aero's not going to be too happy about that. He's going to try to fight back here a little bit more as they come down here back through Valvoline, now bringing down onto the straightaway. I think this is going to be Hafledason having this move pretty much done and dusted and all to himself as they fly down the hill. He lets the tail fly out, and that's going to be a victory there for the Tater Machine.
Oh, it's like seeing Sasquatch. You don't see Errol Num passed on the lap slap very often. Nice job from Michael Hafledason.
A very good job there from him to be able to get that one ahead, and that will put him provisionally up into the lead of the standings with 2 wins on the day, based off my very rudimentary math. And as we often say here on the Global SimRacing Channel, never trust a commentator's math, but I believe that Aero Num will be second in the standings after heat race number 4.
2 wins pretty much write your ticket into the final for Hoflades, and I would think probably Aero Num safely in there as well with a win in a second.
Yeah, and there he is. He's actually tied with Nicholas Anderson here at this point, as we'll now get ready for heat race number 5, as this is going to be Christopher Giros, Johan Vandenbeld, Ludwig Sauer, Klaus Loden, Wojciech Podacek, and JT Kopanen will be your 6-car grid here for heat race number 5, as everyone brings their way around. Edgar Sanginelli performing the duties of the unsafety car. I guarantee you that's going to slip me up later today, Soup. I'm going to stay unsafety car on another broadcast.
Indeed. And of course, we have Kopanen is the Heat 3 winner out there now, so it'll be fun to see. Where is he starting? How far is Kopanen up front? I can't see on my timing and scoring. Where is he lining up?
He's going to be lining up at the back of the grid.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge there for JT, but we'll have to see if he's able to come back on that. Vandenbeld right now and Giros in your leading positions right now. They'll bring the cars around here behind Sancinelli in that unsafety car as they come down the hill here through Valvoline. Ready to go, ready to get racing, ready for that unsafety car to scamper off into the distance, as indeed there it does get going. Control the field over to Giros as we wait for the green flag to fly here in heat race number 5, and there goes Giros holding the field up a long time. Vandenbeld immediately goes out to the outside to try to carry a little bit more momentum if he can. Backs off to avoid contact that could open up the door a little bit for Ludwig Sauer to be able to try to send a move on him. It doesn't look like it's going to happen as they fly up the hill right now, cutting over the grass. Good lead up in front here for Giros, but now they fly through the alley. Little bit of contact there in the background, but the first 3 through nice and cleanly.
Sauer got a little bit of a bump, but he's able to keep it going. Now Sauer looking to second.
Sauer looking to second, as that's going to be Giros up at the front of the field. Interesting there, Vandenbeld actually running a traditional racing line, trying to
Look
keep
at
it
the
on
momentum,
the
though.
stuff.
Yeah, but the momentum is what he got from there.
Interesting stuff here from Johan, and that's not going to get him good momentum. Big contact there with Christopher Giros. That's going to allow now for Ludwig Sauer to get back up into the lead of the race here at this point, as now it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. They climb up the hill here, trying to see what they're able to do. Looking down to the inside here, Giros tries to go for it, as that's going to be Sauer getting it all things wrong. A great send up into the middle, but now able to get a little bit more momentum. Oh no, spinning around there in the back is, I believe that was Podacek that lost it going around through there. The Vandenbeld able to hold on to P2. Sauer trying to carry a little bit more momentum. Giros going to be the one in the lead. He will take victory here in the race, but Vandenbeld and Sauer rounding out your top 3. A little bit of carnage there in that one.
I think the Vandenbeld has taught me something. I think the fastest line will depend on what lap you're on. If you're on the first lap, you can afford to stay on the pavement, get momentum, because you get the full use of the straightaway. But on the last lap, because the race ends before you get to corner 1, I don't think that the momentum from being on the pavement through that final corner is going to pay off. I think the fastest line is through the grass. Fascinating.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, Soup. It is absolutely fascinating to see how it is, and we'll have to see if anybody else adopts that strategy to be able to play that out. But we have to get ready here for heat race number 6, as Daniel Solo will line up in pole position, followed by Gordon Vandenbergen. Then it's Frederick Neptune and Michael Podacek. Roger Hooker and Aero Num will round out your 6-car grid. Num going to be starting in the back of the field, so things could be a little bit more difficult there for him.
The good news is, with a win in a second, he's probably safely, even a last place finish, which is not going to happen for the Roland Estonian, is probably going to be enough to get him into the final. I love coming back. His nickname is the Trident. You got to pull a fan favorite, Frederick Neptune, out there. Good to see. Always has been racing 30 seasons in Absolute Beginner League. He's been, I think, in all of them.
Yeah, I think he has as well, although I'm not currently seeing him grid up here at the moment. I think he may have disconnected, actually, so that's a little bit unfortunate there. We do love seeing Frederick out on the track. He's one of our fan favorite drivers here.
I jinxed him, DJ.
You did indeed. As here we go, under the unsafety car here. Vandenbergen and Solo leading this field out here. Podacek and Hooker and Gnome, the rest of this now 5-car field here for them. Little bit of a bunch formation here as they come down into the start-finish line. Sancinelli gets on the loud pedal to bring the unsafety car out there, as Solo now able to do it as well. As here they go down into turn 1 for the first time. Looks like a little bit of a move there around the outside for that black machine, trying to carry a little bit of momentum. That's Hooker. Podacek losing a couple of positions there. Gnome going to be able to gladly gobble that one up as they climb up towards the alley and jump over the barriers. Oh, things getting a little bit sketchy here into the alley. Big contact and around. We've had a big coming together. Multiple drivers out. And who is that is now able to be up in the front of the race? Aero Gnome up into second, but that's even more contact.
Let's see if we stay green. They said if there was an incident that involved 3 or more cars, they would throw the yellow. I don't think they have. This has been chaos.
Absolute chaos, but look who is making it out the best out of this. Aero Gnome in the front of the field, but Hooker, Solo, and Podacek now going down into the corner. Podacek on the inside gets a little bit of a squeeze. That's going to turn Roger Hooker around. Hooker has that all going wrong there for him, and now it's going to be a 2-car battle because up at the front of the field, Aero Gnome doing what Aero Gnome does best and dominating this race.
I have seen it more seasons than not that no matter what happens, somehow, it's not luck. It cannot be luck over and over again what Aero Gnome is able to do. He has a 6th sense for getting out of trouble.
He certainly does, able to get out of it there, and he will bring the car around to take victory here in heat race number 6. Looks like Solo and Podacek going to be the cars that cross over there behind him. So that is going to be the field as they go. Very impressive stuff there for Aero Gnome. I am very impressed that he was able to pull that one out of the hat, as it were, and he will most certainly be automatically advancing on into the finals.
You know, we're racing in Germany. I think you could start Aero Gnome in France, and somehow he'd still manage to get his way to the front before the race was over.
I have to agree with you there on Soup. That driver just has speed that is unparalleled and unquestionably fast. As now looks like we are going to line up here on the grid. Josh Brain and Nicholas Anderson in your front row. Michael Hafladason and Edgar Sancinelli. And then Johan Vandenbeld, the fan belt, and Christopher Giros, the rest of your drivers here today. As it looks like they're jumping up to the front of the field, that is going to be I believe Podacek on unsafety car duties here. Hafladason coming in behind, giving a little bit of a love tap there to Josh Brain. As Aero Gnome sits on top of the standings. Hafladason, Anderson, Solo, and Vandenbeld, your top 5 here at this point. As we only have 2 more heat races to go, and then we get into the semifinals here for everything. So not a whole lot of time left here going on right now. Is there... Do we get rolling? Looks like we're just flirting around, having a little bit of fun here. There we go. Finally getting rolling up at the front of the field. Josh Brain, as we said, the one that's going to be leading this field around to the green flag. Anderson up to his outside. Hafladason, Vandenbeld farther back down in the field. Sancinelli as well. And don't forget about Giros there on the back of the order, as Podacek will head the unsafety car out of the way here, clear it out for everybody else. And Josh Brain now gets on the loud pedal, and here we go down into turn 1. Let's see if we have any calamity here. Everything looks clean for now, Soup.
Something to watch. Now keep an eye on Vandenbeld. He's the guy who has that first lap, staying on the pavement, getting momentum down into the first corner. Let's see if he does it again, assuming everything is clean. I think he's set up to try it.
I think he is as well. Runs very wide there and gets it wrong. Oh, that is commentator's curse if I have ever seen one there, as that is going to throw him off. It also looks like Josh Brain had a little bit of a problem. Everybody having a little bit of a problem there coming up out of the alley. And that's going to be Michael Hafladason is up into the lead of this race, able to get by Josh Brain as they cross over and take the white flag.
Hafladason looking to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, he is. He's really trying to push here, and he's got a pretty sizable lead. Let's call it about 6-7 car lengths as they climb their way up the hill right now. Brain trying to close in behind there as they go. Ooh, good run coming into the corner there, but it looked like that didn't necessarily play itself out for Anderson there behind. Halfledason, though, looking like he's in control if he can just get through this corner easily, but he doesn't. He runs very, very wide there at the exit. Is Josh Brain going to be able to capitalize, able to carry that car onto the black stuff here as they run down to the stripe? Halfledason still able to take victory there. Josh Brain coming in at the last minute. He will hold on for P2.
I think Halfledason has cleats for traction on his rear tires there. He was able to still get momentum even though he raced the entire final straightaway on the grass. Nice run.
Very nice run indeed, and yeah, we're going to have to check those out. The World Cup just ended there, Michael. You can't be using cleats here at this point in the running. But that's going to lead us right into our final heat race of the day. Klaas Loden will line up in pole position, followed by Ludwig Sauer, and then JT Kopinen and Wojciech Podacek. Then Gordon Vandenbergen and Daniel Solo will round out your 6-car field here for this race. And well, Soup, we're done with the heat races here. After this, we head on into the quarterfinals and the semifinals. But I got to tell you, it certainly looks like at this point that everybody is pretty much in agreement on lines here. The only real departure that we've seen has been the fan belt running that little bit of a strange line up to carry momentum.
Yeah, that late race, he really didn't get a chance to show what he had discovered because he got taken out in the alley. It didn't work. Right now, these 6 drivers, and this is always a bad thing when they're trying to do a little math, you really want to be in the top 6 when this is all done because that sends you straight to the finals. You don't have to work your way. You don't want to have to be working your way there because in this kind of racing, anything can happen.
Yeah, it certainly can. You want to be up in the finals, and I think crucially, you want to be in the front, if at all possible. So here they go as the unsafety car takes off, and Klaas Loden's going to lead this field around. Ludwig Sauer trying to poke his nose down to the inside. That's Kopinen making a little bit of a move on Podacek down into the hairpin, as that was a great run off of the corner there for Ludwig Sauer. He's going to be able to hold on to the lead. Cuts off the nose there of Klaas Loden as they climb towards the alley.
Sauer has been near the front in most of these heats. He gets a bump. I don't think he's going to be able to salvage that. Nope.
No, he is not, and that is now going to promote up to the front of the field as we still have a little bit of door banging going on there. I believe that was JT Kopinen that was able to sneak on through and make things nice and easy. Yes, it is indeed. And that's going to be Wojciech Podacek there into P2 as they go down the hill right now, trying to see what they are able to get. Vandenbergen will hold on to P3, but we still have a lap around this circuit, and as you said, Soup, anything can happen.
And Koplenberg already with a win in the 3rd heat, so he's looking to get 2 of them. He should be safely on his way to the finals. Now the guys are doing math, trying to pick up whatever the positions they can before they lock down the final standings.
Yeah, they certainly are. We watch Wojciech Podacek here as he brings his way down now through the dirt trap, bringing onto the binders there a nice little slide that'll kick him out onto the gravel trap, and it's going to be JT Kopinen up at the front of the field. He's going to bring the car down the hill, and he will take victory here in the final heat race. Then it will be Wojciech Podacek that is in second, and I believe then down through the rest of the field there you see Ludwig Sauer not exactly having the best run out there, and that's a interesting way to drive. Coming down backwards is Daniel Solo. So you got to love that.
Well, it's a rear-engine car. He maybe thought that the scoring and timing might have been put in the front. I don't know.
Trying to figure out where the transponder is.
Right.
Well, Soup, there we have it. Your finishing order there for the day. Nome, Halfledason, Anderson. I actually don't think that's taking into consideration the final heat race here that we saw. Yeah, Kopinen and then Podacek able to take 1 and 2. Then I believe it was Gordon Vandenbergen in P3. And we're going to take about a 2-minute break here for these drivers to do a little bit of math here for the finals and get everything sorted out.
Yeah, what we can do, we can come back to that graphic in a little bit because it's old school. This is I'm going to use a Wrigley Field reference because none of our European drivers will get that. But they're hanging the scoreboard by hand here. They're punching in the numbers. It's not automatic timing, so we got to give them a little minute to get it. And now we got it. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. And I followed you on that perfectly, Soup. I knew exactly what you were talking about. As Hafla Dason is going to be your points leader going into it. Then it'll be Aaron Num, JT Kopanen, Nicholas Anderson, Josh Brain, and Klaus Loden, your top 6. Podacek there is 7th, but I'm not sure. It looks like he will have to go back into the semifinal as the way that scoring will work out.
So it's going to be Sancinelli, Michael Podacek, Hooker, Garros, I believe, going down into the bottom, and it'll go all the way up to I think the Vandenbelt will also have to race his way. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are safe in the semis. So yeah, 11. So it'll start with Johan Vandenbelt. And they're a driver short because the Trident's not here, so it's Frederick Neptune. So it'll be 5 cars, top 2 advance.
Yeah, top 2 will advance on here at this point, and it looks like it's going to be Johan Vandenbelt, Christopher Giros, Roger Hooker, Michael Podacek, Edgar Sancinelli. Those 5, as we said earlier, and they're already starting to form themselves up, getting ready to take to it. We've got a couple of drivers just out having a little bit of fun here at this point, but it does look like that the leaders here are forming themselves up right now. There you can see on your screen that is, I believe, Giros and Vandenbelt, and then Michael Podacek there behind as they wait for the rest of this 5-car quarterfinal to line themselves up. And we believe this is going to be 3 laps here for these drivers. At least that's what we assume. We're going to kind of find that one out as it goes.
Now, honestly, though, I hate to get too much into the weeds here as this is a fun event. But as a commentator, I can't help it. If this is indeed a 3-lap event, I gotta think that favors Vandenbelt because he'll be able to use that his strategy of staying on the pavement. He'll get to use it on the first lap and the second lap. If he can get out front, look for him maybe to run away with this.
Yeah, he very well could. That's a good thing to think about there, Soup, is he'll hope to be able to do that at any rate and try to be able to keep up that momentum staying on the pavement, as we've said. As there is Sancinelli coming out, looks like he's going to be coming around. No, excuse me, that's Podacek there. Wojciech Podacek bringing the car around to officially serve as the unsafety car. As we're just waiting here, I think, for Edgar Sancinelli to come onto the back of the grid. He actually looks like he's out there already, just giving plenty of space in between. So we should be ready to get going here in just a few moments' time, I think, as everybody brings their way down on through. And we just wait here for Vojo to be able to get this car moving. Sancinelli closing back in on the rest of the field there, and that should be the sign for everybody to get moving. And I believe there we go. We're finally rolling away there as they like to do their little bit of a bullfrog impression, kind of leaping their way forward a little bit.
I'm going to make a commitment right now. If Edgar Sancinelli can win this heat right now, I'm sending some homemade salsa to all 16 drivers. So if you're a fan of some Mexican salsa made by Soup, salsa de soup, you're going to pull for Edgar Sancinelli here.
All right, well, there you have it. Edgar Sancinelli, you've got a mandate here for these drivers as here they go. And Johan Vandenbelt gets on the loud pedal early, coming down into the corner. Christopher Giros going to slot in behind them. A little bit of side-by-side there between Vandenbelt and Hooker, I think, as they tried to be able to get themselves around there. But it looks like that's going to play itself out. Excuse me, those Podacek and Hooker, as it looks like the top 2 starting to break away here a little bit at this point. Johan Vandenbelt, big slide coming in there for the number 11 machine of Giros. That's actually going to lose him a position, and that's a good pickup for Michael Podacek, but contact there with Hooker, and that sends Giros around.
Oh, my goodness.
And there you see Johan Vandenbelt employing that strategy to sheer perfection as he's going to come around and pull back into the lead there. So sticking on the black stuff there, a good way for Johan to be able to get himself ahead. He's now going to pull himself into the lead of the race once again, trying to be able to keep his way ahead as best as possible of Michael Podacek. Behind them, everything's a little bit fanned out as a result of that contact that you saw, but both drivers now bringing the cars down through the corner. That Lego machine going to try to bring his way up and through. He he's going to jump out there, come back out onto the black stuff as Podacek tries to go. Yeah, he's just keeping on that strategy, and Podacek now going to have to try to get a little bit defensive on him as there he goes back on by, does the fan belt. A good run there for him. White flag in the air for these drivers. One more lap to go, Soup.
And they actually had the lead at the start-finish line, so maybe I underestimated its that staying on the pavement, the effectiveness of that. He might be able to do it on the last lap as well. Honestly, DJ, these front two guys just need to behave. They just need to bring it home to advance.
Yeah, they do, because it's the top two that will advance on here from that hooker, really trying to throw the car in to be able to see what he can do on that. Podacek now trying to run that line. That's going to be Vandenbelt running the asphalt line around there, the only one that we've seen doing that on the day. There he goes. There's the crossover. Podacek not able to hold on to it, and here comes Vandenbelt to the line.
Oh, I love it. What a great event where you have two lines. One gets you out in front, but the other one has momentum that gets you past them. Well to go. And, oh, my salsa will remain at home.
Yes, it will, as Sancinelli not able to get up onto the top position, as there we have Gyros taking a unusual stance, let's say. But now we get ready here for our final semifinal right now. Wojciech Podacek going to be lining up in pole position for this, followed by Gordon Vandenbergen, then Daniel Solo, Ludwig Sauer, and then it will be Johan Vandenbelt and Michael Podacek. So that will be your 6-car semifinal. Again, looking here at a 3-lap event, but should be a good run nonetheless.
DJ, I can't help but start to think strategically, even in this nonsense event. But again, I gotta put the nod here to Vandenbelt, even though he's gonna be starting the back. I think he runs the fastest lap. I think the race, that's a safe line to take. He'll have the momentum. He'll get a couple cars on the first lap. He'll get a couple cars on the second lap. Look for him to advance from the back.
Yeah, I think he certainly could be able to pull his way forward here at this point and try to fight his way up ahead. We will have to see. My only concern for Vandenbelt, for the fan belt here, is if he gets into a little bit of a problem coming through the alley, if there's some contact there, if there's a little bit of a problem there with some other cars at that point and he gets bottled up, that could be just enough to push him out. So we will have to see what happens there for that. That's going to be the interesting thing to go.
You'd be hard-pressed on the iRacing service to find a narrower piece of racetrack anywhere than the alley here.
Yeah, very much so. I think until we scan Monaco and put it on the circuit, that's going to be about the tightest confines we have.
Or the Formula One, where they race to the castle. Where is that, DJ? That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so here they go. Everybody else working their way out right now. Looks like everybody bringing the cars around here at this point.
My cheeks are hurting from smiling so much. This is nonsense.
Oh, this is fun. This is just good, clean, old-fashioned fun racing, and it's exactly what we love to see here from a race such as this, from the Absolute Beginners League. Again, the name a bit of a misnomer, as these are some of the most experienced drivers on the simulator, but some pretty absolutely fantastic racing that I got to agree with you, Sue. My cheeks are hurting. I'm having a great time here today.
Well, you know, while they are skilled, they are also very inviting, and it's not like this is a very much open series. In fact, I was talking to Wojciech Podacek this week, and he was saying how this will never be a paid series. They welcome in newcomers. They welcome in. They like to teach, and I'll be honest with you. I have seen drivers, because I've been doing this a long time in this series. I've seen drivers come in early on. I'll get off of here quick so we can go racing. That looked like, oh my gosh, this guy has no chance of understanding what is this. And within a season and a half, they are so polite and so fast.
Yeah, it's one of the great things about the Absolute Beginners League that you really, really love to see, as Klaus Loden going to lead this field down the hill here right now for a 3-lap semifinal event, as this will then lead us directly into the grand finale on the day. Oh, as there's drama right from the get-go. That's Solo and Gordon Vandenbergen getting into one another and taking each other out. My goodness gracious, that's going to throw everything out for a little bit of a wire here. But look at that, Soup. That is Johan Vandenbelt already up the order into second right now.
Now he needs to be clean through here. If he can be clean, then he'll get the run. I expect him to be leading down into the first corner by the time we finish lap number 1, and then he can cruise home from there.
Oh, look at that, Soup. He took the alternate line.
Oh.
He took that one, so clearly changing it as it looked like Solo there behind him decided to take the fan belt line instead, and he's going to be able to get the run there on Ludwig Sauer as they now run down through the hairpin for the second time. It is going to be up at the front of the field, Johan Vandenbelt. He doesn't need to worry about running that position here at this point. He's got the move on Klaas Loden, just able to carry more speed going through it there at this point. Vandenbelt able to get the car around through the alley nice and easy. Now let's see if he decides to take that line. Now he's going to do it. Now he's going to run the asphalt line.
It is the Christmas season. If you want to buy some toys for kids, I don't know why I feel this way, but I want to buy some Legos. I don't know why. There's the pass for the lead.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I want to build some Legos this afternoon now. But here as they go down into the hairpin, the white flag in the air at this point. Loden trying to close in on the back of Vandenbelt to the best of his ability, but not looking like he's going to be able to. Vandenbelt just has to run through the alley one last time here. This is obviously the big danger zone, but he's not letting that tail slide out. He's keeping it nice and together. He'll once again take that unorthodox line, or should we call it orthodox, and everybody else running the unorthodox line. I'm not really sure, but he's going to carry plenty of momentum. And look at that from near elimination in the quarterfinal. It's going to be Johan Vandenbelt able to take victory. It's a Lego 1-2 here between him and Klaas Loden.
You know, one of the fun things about commentating is to be able to find a story and then watch it play out. GJ, you and I have done this for a while. You find something. We found that line from Vandenbelt, and he had trouble during the heats and he had to work his way through. He got through the first semi, he got through this final semi, and now he's back in the final, but this time he's got some bigger names to deal with.
Yes, he does. Namely, here are your 8 drivers that will be lining up here for the grand finale of the day. Michael Haflidason, Aero Num in row 1, then JT Kopinen and Nicholas Anderson, Josh Brain and Wojciech Podacek, and then Johan Vandenbelt and Klaas Loden will round out your 8-car grid. So this is going to be a pretty packed and stacked field here, Soup.
Oh, man, I wish we could race, not 3. Let's have a 10-lap final. The only problem is I'm not sure how far these cars can go before they run out of fuel.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We're not sure exactly how long they are going to be able to go, but everybody's starting to form themselves up here. It looks like that's Sancinelli once again performing those pace car duties, and we are getting confirmation that this will be yet another 3-lap affair, so unfortunately we're not going to have all that much more racing action.
I didn't get my fill. Let's do it again.
Let's line them up and do it again, indeed. I'm right there with you, Soup. Let's have some fun with it. But here we see all of them lining up for what will sadly only be a 3-lap race. It looks like the 8-car grid pretty much all lined up as there they start to roll down the hill. Haflidason and Nome up at the front of that field, getting everything rolling here as they go, getting everything together. And let's see here, 3 laps to determine who will be the winner in the race of champions here from the Absolute Beginners League. Edgar Sancinelli in the unsafety car leads that field down, and we get ready to go green flag racing here. Sancinelli scampers off into the distance, giving control of the field over to Michael Haflidason. Haflidason now gets on the lap pedal, and there we go for the grand finale. Coming down into the hairpin for the first time. Looks like we're able to get through relatively nice and cleanly. Haflidason continues to lead over Aero Num.
Remember, it was in the earlier heat that Haflidason got the best of Num, something you don't see very much. I think what we have here, DJ, is the fastest 2 drivers up front.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree with you there, as it did look like Aero, though, got a little bit sideways, got a little bit cockeyed coming down through the corner. Trying to make a little bit of an attack here is going to be Kopinen as they go down. Oh, contact there with Nome. That is a big bit of argy-bargy as they go. Everybody getting their way fanned out. That's Nicholas Anderson who got into the side of him.
Haflidason saying, go at it, boys, as I have 2 laps to go and nobody near me.
Exactly. That is going to be music to the eyes of Michael Haflidason as they now climb up the hill here for the penultimate time. Haflidason cruising in that Tater-inspired machine. He's going to bring the car down now through the alley. Gnome going to try to move his way up forward. Here they go. Is Arrow going to be able to gain anything? Arrow, the crafty veteran, taking a leaf out of the fan belt's book. He's going to take the wide line and try to carry momentum.
Runs it off into the sand. Not sure if that's the line he wanted there. Haflidason also taking a very, very aggressive line up front. His gap is safe, though, while we work on the white lap.
We are on the white flag lap here as he's got a pretty healthy gap over JT Koponen and Aero Gnome. I think the battle is going to be here for P2 between JT Koponen and Aero Gnome as they climb up the hill right now, going into the alley. Oh, using the handbrake there is JT Koponen. He's going to make that work, build a little bit of a gap between himself and Aero Gnome. Gnome not going to go back to that outside line, it looks like, or is he? I can't exactly tell. But there you see, up at the front of the field, Haflidason coming down the hill. He is going to take the checkered flag and be your champion here in the race of champions.
A deserving champion.
A deserving champion indeed. JT Koponen will come home second, and this is a strange sentence to say. Aero Gnome only good enough for third place.
Maybe he'll be kind enough to come in and talk to us in the interview room. I haven't talked to Aero in a long time. Like to see what's going on with him. Boy, this was fun, but you know, we talked about the top drivers being up front. I think Haflidason, he had this place wired.
Yeah, I think he was just locked into this. Soup knew exactly what he was doing, knew how to get the best time out of it, and there you see him doing some celebratory donuts, as only these rallycross cars can do.
All right, with that said, what we're going to do is take a short break, but don't go far. We'll come back, talk to some of the drivers, then we'll put a lock on the gate. Don't go far.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to ride around the world.
I'm Mick Claridge, and I'm going to ride around the world on my bike.
My son, he gave me advice at the start of this ride, and he looked at me and just said, "Dad, don't be a moron."
Let me do my animal signal to gain their respect.
How's it going, Sally? Yeah, I'm alright, Mick. How's it going? Worse than that bit in Lord of the Rings where they go into the top and the spiders in the tunnel. I'm just hoping there's a spider at the top of this one to kill me.
Freezing. And I failed. I moroned up the ride.
Welcome back to Germany for GSRC's coverage of the Absolute Beginner League's Race of Champions. It was a fun one. Now, I don't believe we're able to put up the final standings for you, but we can talk about our race winner. It was Michael Haflidason, a great run from him. Little did we think, DJ, that when we saw Haflidason and Num battling it out early on in like first or second heat, that they'd be coming down to battling out for the win.
No, I mean, we certainly didn't expect that at all, but clearly two of the best drivers there in the field, and Haflidason actually just putting on a clinic there for the rest of the field, and really doing a fantastic job to be able to take victory here today.
Hopefully we'll be able to talk to some of the drivers if they come into the interview room. I think we'll be able to get a few of them. It was a fun event. It's nice to see the different racing lines going on, and what's our plan here? Do we have anyone to talk to, or are we closing this thing up?
It looks like, Soup, that we have Michael Haflidason here ready to talk to you.
Let's both, we'll share it here. Let's bring Michael in. Wait for Michael to come on in. We'll get a chance to talk with him. Michael Haflidason at Soup. Congratulations.
No, it's been a long time. Thank you so much.
It has indeed. I don't want to get too serious about the event. It's a fun event, but it's competitive, so we got to do it. I think you were the fastest car out there today.
I mean, I'm Swedish. I do drifting on the roads with my car almost every day now that it's snowing, so I have an advantage, I'd say.
You know what DJ and I were watching was some drivers were taking. We think that maybe the faster line might have been staying on the pavement and getting the momentum down into the first corner, but you seem to like to take the shortcut.
But more fun. You could jump a bit there.
More fun. DJ, you got any questions?
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, talk to me a little bit about how to prepare for this race. Obviously, you're not really getting lap times to count. Was this just a matter of going out and experimenting and finding out what was good?
So the guys at ABL have done this format before, which I've won 2 times. So I'm now a triple champ at this specific combo, which is very fun. And thanks for Johan, Ludwig, and all the guys for inviting me, first of all. But it's just about being confident in the rallycross car. I think just like knowing how to drift a car, it's probably the best way.
Well, congratulations on it's been a long time. It's great to talk to you again. It's great to see you race again. One of the things we love about the Absolute Beginner League, they bring back the old guys.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you again.
Mikael Hofladezen, our champion here today. Okay, with that, I think, well, let's go ahead and bring in the fan belt. This is another old timer. Of course, Johan used to actually do a little broadcasting with GSRC. It's great to see him back. Johan, you got a copy? It's Soup.
Hey, Soup. Nice to see you again. How are you doing?
It has been a long time. It's good to talk to you again. You, my friend, were the star of the show with your, what DJ called your alternative, but it was really the conservative racing line.
I mean, I just wanted to have more track time, so I I thought I would loop it around, and I figured out quite quickly that if you looped it around and you started accelerating on the tarmac, you got a way better drive out of that corner. So I was like, everyone, you can get the shortcut. I'll just loop it around and overtake you before the hairpin, and it worked out.
It was fun to watch you race your way through both of those finals to get up to the end, but couldn't get it done at the end. Some big names in that finals, weren't there?
Oh, absolutely. But I said it before the race, like the big final, the grand final started. I won the quarterfinal and I won the semifinal. So my day is already a success with that.
Well, we'll get you out of here on a personal question. How have you been? Have you been away from iRacing? We haven't seen you much in the ABL, but you racing much? It's nice to come back and see you race this one.
Well, to be honest, I haven't done any iRacing in a couple of months. This was the first time I fired up the sim in, I think, 4 or 5 months. So it was a really interesting track car combo to get my racing boots on again. But yeah, it was great fun. Thanks a lot to Ludwig, Wojtek, and David, who was ill, unfortunately, to organize this event. It was great fun, and it's a shame we couldn't stop Hofladezen from winning again. But at least the racing was fun.
All right. Well, listen, you don't need to race much. We'll just see you in when season 31 is over. Maybe we'll get to see you in the next Race of Champion. I think you get a perpetual invitation.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
The fan belt, Johan van der Belt. DJ, who you got? I think I saw Sauer down there. You going to be able to get Ludwig?
Yeah, I think indeed I'm going to be able to talk to Ludwig Sauer. Ludwig, not exactly the standard fare out there today, but I got to say that looked like a blast.
Oh, it was. It's absolutely a blast every time we do one of these.
Well, talk to me a little bit about how you kind of come into a race like this. What does your mentality change about the way you're doing it? Obviously, it's just for fun, but you've got a little bit of that racer's instinct, I've got to think, that takes over at some point when the green flag flies.
Yeah, it sure does. But above and beyond, it's a fun race. It's fun for everybody. It's like a closure of the end of the year, a little bit of the Christmas spirit. Maybe drink 1 or 2. So, but when we go, you go, and then you race, and you try your best, of course.
Well, I have to ask you, we just talked to Johan van der Belt about his sort of alternative line. Any thoughts of you of running that line? It looked like you were pretty committed to running through the gravel trap there up and out of the chute.
Yes, in preparation of this race, I've watched some old replays. We have done this now 2 times. Both are won by, now, 3-time winner, Mikael Hofladezen. That's how I watched his line, because he's pretty quick and somehow he knows to take enough momentum going onto the straight. So I've tried to copy that, but of course I'm not Michael, so I can't do it.
Hey, Ludwig, it's Soup here. I got to dig down a little deeper on the drinking thing. What would be the drink of choice for you? Is it Germany or Austria? Where are you hailing from?
I'm Dutch, so I like
Dutch.
I'd like to just drink a Dutch beer.
Dutch beer. Okay. Good luck. We'll see you down the road.
Yes, thank you.
DJ, a fun one indeed.
A very fun one, Soup, and it looks like here we've got one more interview lined up. I believe we have one of the series organizers here, Wojciech Podacek.
Hey, guys.
Wojciech, welcome. It was a fun event. It was perfect. It was... Who's in charge of herding the cats out there? They're doing a great job. The guys are really following directions.
Yeah, it was fun. Although it wasn't, the best grand finale for me, but I would say the whole setup. It's just, sort of the summary of who we are with the league. It's as always all about the fun.
So tell me about your brother. Is he a younger brother, older brother, and who kept?
He's the older brother, and he, let's say, got called at the last moment because we missed one driver, so he didn't have any practice at all. I would say we are on the same level, although today he was a bit behind. Like I said, I don't think he was expecting the format that we had to be so, let's say, open for abusing the track limits. But it was fun to race with him as well.
Well, what the fans want to know, they don't want to know about racing skill. They want to know which one of you kept a neater room when you were children.
I don't know.
All right. Well, congratulations. We're not scheduled. GSRC's not scheduled to do another one of these broadcasts for a while, but I have a feeling we'll see you down the road. So congratulations, and it's been fun being with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we will be back. So thanks for being with us. Thanks for broadcasting. Thanks for being, and I hope we will see pretty soon.
Thank you very much. Wojo, I read about it. Wojo, congratulations. See you down the road, buddy.
Thanks, Soup. Thanks. Yeah, take care, guys.
Wojciech Podacek. Okay, that's going to do it for us. DJ, I was so glad to do it with you. You made a great call. It was fun.
It was a blast, Soup. Anytime I get to be in the booth with you is a good day indeed.
So I'd like to thank our team. Of course, that includes DJ, Zach, and Dougie. Hey, now make sure you check our social media website for what's going on there. And with the Christmas shopping season upon us, and you need something for the person who has everything, visit GSRC merchandise store. Links are in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well so you don't miss a moment here on GSRC. Okay, the next race for us, we talked about it with Wojciech, because we've had a long relationship with the Absolute Beginner League, and while any future broadcasts have yet to be announced, we are confident that we'll be back with more ABL events in the future. What you want to do is make sure to check for all of our broadcasts listed below. Next up for us is going to be the Sunday Driver Cup. That's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss that one. Finally, I want to drift away here for a little bit with the year ending. On page 17 of the GSRC Commentator's Handbook, it advises the commentators to avoid controversial subjects. But with so many drivers in the ABL hailing from Europe and so many from Eastern Europe, I'd be remiss if I did not say that no matter the motivations or justifications for war, we here at GSRC wish everybody in the region a quick and lasting peace. So with hopes that my traditional sign-off is not taken literally, have fun storming the castle. And remember, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.